Thomas gave one sad toot of his whistle and slowly pulled away. Thomas trundled on. He huffed and puffed as gently as he could. Thomas had to stop at a crossing. Gordon steamed by. "Fastest and best," he chirped. Gordon looked very happy. Thomas felt very sad. Thomas pulled into Maithwaite Station. James was waiting. He was carrying workmen. They were fixing the station house roof. Station staff unloaded 4 boxes of eggs for the village store. "How many journeys have you done?" asked James brightly. "This is my first," said Thomas. "Ha!" huffed James. "I'm on my 3rd. I'm as red as a rocket and twice as fast." And he steamed quickly out of the station. Thomas was upset. He wanted to go fast more than ever. Now the eggs were unloaded and Thomas chuffed slowly out of the station. Thomas puffed across the countryside, very, very slowly. Then Thomas saw Toby taking on coal in a siding. His freight cars were full of roof tiles. Toby was having a wonderful day. "I'm on my 2nd journey," he whistled proudly. Thomas was very sad. Toby rushed past him. It made Thomas want to go faster than ever. "Even Toby has made more journeys than me," he moaned. "It's not fair. I can be fast and careful." So Thomas started to speed up. Fast and careful, he huffed happily. But Thomas was going so fast, he wasn't being careful. Farmer McColl was worried. "Slow down, Thomas," he called. "You will break my eggs." But Thomas was going so quickly he didn't hear Farmer McColl, and he didn't slow down. He went even faster. The eggs started to bounce in their boxes. Then Thomas changed lines. It caused a big bump. The eggs were breaking. Thomas came to a junction. He had to slow down. "Stop, Thomas!" cried Farmer McColl. "You have broken my eggs!" This time Thomas did hear Farmer McColl and he stopped right away. "Cinders and ashes!" he cried. But Farmer McColl was still cross. Thomas felt bad. "I'm sorry," he whistled. "I just wanted to be really useful." Farmer McColl checked his eggs. Luckily, only a few were broken. Now Thomas knew he had to go slowly, so he pulled away as gently as he could. Thomas headed for Brendam Docks. Suddenly, he heard an impatient toot. James was behind him. He blew his whistle loudly. But Thomas knew he couldn't speed up. "Sometimes going slowly can be just as important as going fast," said Thomas. And he puffed carefully on. That evening, Sir Topham Hatt came to Tidmouth Sheds. He looked very pleased. "You have all worked hard and been really useful engines," he said proudly. The engines were very happy, except for Thomas. He was thinking about the broken eggs. "I only made 1 journey, sir," he said sadly, "and I broke Farmer McColl's eggs." "But most of the eggs were delivered safely," boomed Sir Topham Hatt. "Farmer McColl gave the broken ones to me, and I love having scrambled eggs for my breakfast. You, Thomas," he added, "are a really useful engine." Thomas just beamed. Here are some dots. If we join the dots, we will see one of the engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. I wonder which engine it is. Let's join the dots and find out. Here we go. Around the tender and the cab. There's the dome and a very tall funnel. Can you tell who it is yet? Around the buffers and the wheels. They are very big wheels. There's only one engine on Sodor with wheels that big. Do you know who it is? Yes, it's Emily. Hello, Emily.
Patience is a virtue, so it never hurts to take a little time to see. Sir Topham Hatt has taught you, and you know you ought to be as patient as can be. Happy waiting patiently. Don't get too excited, just try staying calm. Thinking for a minute saves you so much harm. Everything around you is rushing here and there. Life can be so simple if you make time to spare. Patience is a virtue, so it never hurts to take a little time to see. Sir Topham Hatt has taught you, and you know you ought to be as patient as can be. Happy waiting patiently.
It was the end of a busy day. The engines had been working hard. They were feeling pleased and proud. Except Henry. He was feeling ill. What's the matter with you, Henry? Thomas asked. My boiler's grumbling. Maybe it's grumbling at you, teased Thomas. That's not funny, hissed Henry. You just don't care. But Emily saw that Henry was leaving a puddle of water behind. She was worried. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. Thomas, Percy, Henry, I want you to collect some freight cars and take them to the docks. Yes, sir, cried Thomas and Percy. Henry watched the engines puff away. He didn't feel well. Useful engines don't complain, Henry muttered. He was leaving water everywhere as he chuffed towards the coaling plant. When Emily saw this, she was more worried than ever. Then Thomas and Percy overtook Henry. Hurry up, Henry! Percy tooted. I can't go any faster, Henry chuffed miserably. You're just being lazy, teased Thomas. By the time Thomas and Percy reached the coaling plant, they had a naughty plan. Please, sir, said Thomas, Henry wants to take more freight cars. He is bigger, added Percy. The odd manager agreed. Meanwhile, Emily was talking to Sir Topham Hatt. I'm worried about Henry. Perhaps his tubes are leaking, replied Sir Topham Hatt. You'd better check. By the time Henry reached the coaling plant, Thomas and Percy had already left. Why did Thomas and Percy leave me so many freight cars, moaned Henry. They know I'm not feeling well. We'll still have to take them, said his driver. Henry chuffed and puffed and pulled his long line of freight cars. You can do it, Henry, encouraged his driver. But it was no use. Henry ground to a halt. Just then Emily arrived. Are you all right, Henry? No, moaned Henry. I'm stuck. Henry's firemen uncoupled the heavy freight cars. Emily changed tracks and then hooked up to Henry. Oh, thank you, Emily, wished Henry. Emily and Henry puffed into the docks. Well done, Emily, said Sir Topham Hatt. Thank you, sir. Then he spoke to Henry. You were brave, Henry. You weren't well, but you still tried to pull the heavy freight cars. Thomas and Percy felt ashamed. We're sorry, Henry, said Thomas. We didn't think you were really sick, added Percy. Go back and collect Henry's freight cars, said Sir Topham Hatt sternly. Yes, sir, whispered Thomas. Soon Henry was mended and back at work. You're looking so much better, said Emily. Well, they mended my tubes, but they didn't even look at my brakes, my gauges, my squeaky wheels. Emily smiled. All in good time, Henry. Poor Henry. The children are going to school. Bertie has brought them to the station early. The children have to wait for Gordon. Listen, what's that? There's a train coming. It's a blue engine, so it could be Gordon. But look, this engine has got a tall, thin funnel. And it's only got 4 wheels. That's not Gordon. Do you know who it is? It's Edward. The children like seeing Edward, but today he is carrying coal. The children still have to wait for Gordon. Listen, what's that? There's another train coming. I wonder if this one is Gordon. It's another blue engine, but look, this engine has big water tanks over its wheels. And it's got the number 1 on its side. That's not Gordon, but do you know who it is? It's Thomas, and he's pulling Annie and Clarabelle. The children love seeing Thomas, but Thomas doesn't stop at this station. The children still have to wait for Gordon. Listen, what's that? There's another train coming. I hope this one is Gordon. It's another blue engine. This engine has a very short funnel. It's very big and very fast. It's Gordon! The children waited patiently for Gordon. And now Gordon will get them to school on time. Well done, Gordon. It was a beautiful fall day on the island of Sodor. All the engines were working very hard. Sir Topham Hatt came to Tidmouth Sheds. He had exciting news. Gordon is to take the new mayor of Sodor on a special tour of the island, he announced. Gordon was thrilled, but then he had a thought. Who will take the express, sir? He asked. The other engines were excited. Pulling the express was an important job. Everyone wanted to be chosen, but Sir Topham Hatt chose Emily. When Sir Topham Hatt left, Emily was very happy, but Gordon wasn't impressed.
"The Express is the longest passenger train on the island," he sniffed. "I always cross the island twice by tea time. You'll never do that."
"I've got big wheels, and I'll do my best," said Emily.
"Big wheels don't make a big engine," boasted Gordon. "Everyone knows I'm the best."
Thomas thought Gordon was showing off. "Twice before tea time," he puffed. "That will be hard." But Emily wasn't listening to Thomas. "I'm going to be as good as Gordon," she said eagerly, and she steamed away as fast as she could. Emily puffed into Knapford Station. She was looking forward to taking the express, but it was very, very heavy. "Bust my buffers," she gasped as she slowly pulled out of the station. But she pulled away too soon and left the brake coach behind. Emily puffed with all her might. She was determined to be fast. Emily had crossed the island once in good time. "I am as good as Gordon," she puffed proudly. Emily had to wait for Edward at the crossing. Edward went as fast as he could, but it wasn't fast enough for Emily. "Hurry up, slow coach," she cried, "or you will make me late." Edward felt sad, but Emily just steamed on. Emily stopped in Maithwaite Station. The express was a guaranteed connection with Bertie the bus. But Bertie hadn't arrived. He had a flat tire and was running late. Emily tried to wait. She counted to 10, twice, but she felt as if her boiler would burst.